Hello and welcome to my video on the King's Ultra Greatsword. This video is primarily going to consist of PvP, but in the beginning here I'll show you guys the items, descriptions, the stats of each piece of equipment, and my character build. Oh yeah, I'll also show the moveset and of course how the equipment here will look or appear. This isn't really an equipment showcase, just because I want the King set equipment showcase of mine to include the other weapon that you need the King's Soul to make, and I want to include the shield, the King's Shield. I don't remember the exact names of those other two pieces of equipment, but I know they each require the Soul of the King. And as far as I'm aware, I think you actually have to go on to New Game Plus and New Game Plus Plus to get a second and third Soul of the King. I could be wrong, but I tried beating the king using the bonfire aesthetic, and it didn't work out. Perhaps I have to go in and use the bonfire aesthetic in the Shrine of Amana first, and then use it another one in the Undead Crypt, and defeat the boss, King Vendrick then. Maybe that'll work, but I'm not sure. From the looks of it, after you use bonfire aesthetics, the steel chests do not respawn items. Just something I've noticed that has stayed consistent throughout my uses of bonfire aesthetics. So this weapon seems to be pretty popular. I mean, I posted a video on Reddit that got a decent amount of attention. It's got quite a few views now on the video. The video is don't play baseball with a giant, or I named it something like that, but yeah, it's just about a giant that hits me across the map, sort of, but I'm still safe. But anyways, yeah, this weapon, it is a huge bludgeon. It reminds me of the Dragon Bone Smasher from Demon Souls in that sense, just because it's a bludgeon that is called a sword. Yeah, I find that to be pretty awesome. I enjoy swinging around a bludgeon and calling it a sword. There's a pretty good variety of ultra great swords that would appear in this game, and you know, just taking a quick glance at the names of each one of them, the King's Ultra Great Sword really just stood out to me, and I decided to stick with this one. This really has become my primary weapon. And before, my primary weapon was the Greatsword. So it's a pretty good upgrade. It weighs a lot more than the Greatsword, but at least it does more damage as well. I just got bombarded with spells, but I will soon fight this guy again. Now, I believe I talked about this earlier, but from the looks of it, certain phantoms can use Estus flasks and other healing items at certain times, and other phantoms cannot. For example, if I were to summon someone of the Dragon Covenant, he or she would be able to use an Estus flask in my world. And of course, the host is always able to use healing items whenever you please. And I got my revenge kill. And yeah, white phantoms, they can use healing items when they're in the host's world. However, they cannot use them if someone invades the host. This guy here looks like he was lagging just enough to catch me off guard, and I was playing a little bit too aggressive for being one hit from death. I depleted my stamina and I got caught out. Now, once in a while you'll have like a red phantom invading you through the cracked red eye orb, so that can cause for a bit more chaos. It gets a little bit chaotic when there's two red phantoms in your world. You never know if they're gonna gank you, or if they'll wait their turn, fight each other, or you never know what they're gonna do. Oh yeah, I did have a few invasions as a build defender, and yeah, they're pretty easy kills, as most of the time you are ganking the host of the world. Now the armor set this guy's using here is called the butterfly set, I believe. I don't remember where you acquire it from or how you acquire it, but if you stand like right next to your opponent wearing that armor, then you will poison your opponent. As you notice, as I start to get poisoned, but it looks like that armor has such low defenses that I tear through that guy in just a few hits. Something I've noticed about all weapons in the game so far is, from the looks of it, just about all weapons can be augmented through the weapon augmentations, whether it's a spell that you're augmenting it through or a item like my dark pine resin or the other pine resins and the other item augmentations, or weapon augmentations that are items. This guy was very decisive when to attack me. He was pretty wise to play a bit more aggressive. He was able to just barely hit me after I swung at nothing, and yeah, he did that several times. Slowly defeated me. That weapon that the previous guy was using was also in the previous Dark Souls. It is called the washing pole, as I recall. At this time, I don't remember if I had Flame Swath equipped. Not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but it's the pyromancy where you use it and it explodes near your enemy. Yeah, really powerful, but it's very easy to dodge. But if I had been using that, then that probably would have helped me a lot against this guy, since he likes to sit back a lot and use ranged spells and heal. And as I said earlier, people of the Dragon Covenant can heal, so I guess that makes both of us on equal playing grounds. So it's kind of impossible to say it's dishonorable to heal with an Estus. Now this fight was pretty long and it's pretty close, but I think it was a pretty good fight in the end. The weapon this guy is using, it requires 35 strength. I don't remember what it's called, but it has no scaling. It has really weak durability, and I think it's actually called the Dragon's Tooth or Dragon's Jaw or something like that. For some reason it seems like it was a random drop from an enemy. I may be mistaken. From the looks of it, we just take each other out at the exact same time, or pretty close to the exact same time. There's still a lot more spells that I've yet to discover. I sort of already started killing off NPCs in my game, even though I wasn't really ready to go on to New Game Plus. But yeah, so now I'm not able to craft some of the spells that I would have been able to otherwise. And this guy is extremely squishy. I take about a nearly one hit. Oh yeah, in case you guys didn't notice, this weapon has an S scaling and strength. The strength requirement to wield it is 50, and makes it really powerful. I do have 60 strength on my character, which is unnecessary. For using this weapon, I'd recommend 50, as 60 strength won't really benefit you as much. You can put those extra 10 points into another stat. A stat like the one that gives you equip burden, or some adaptability for some more mobility. I am now fighting someone using the exact same weapon. Oh yeah, by the way, my armor that I'm using Havel's chest plate or upper body armor piece. Yeah, it's really powerful, especially if you upgrade it. And as for my leggings, I'm using some kind of heavy armor greaves. I don't remember what it was. I switched it around a lot just to balance out my weight. And yeah, for my mask or my helmet, I'm using the penal mask. Gives me more equip burden increase. So using bonfire aesthetics makes it really easy to farm souls in certain areas. Yeah, if you use one at the 4th bonfire and the Forest of the Fallen Giants, and that resets all or increases the bonfire intensity of all of the memories that you go to by using that one item. I think it's the Ashen Mist at each of the giant trees, or each of those weird looking tree things. And yeah, that's a good way to acquire lots and lots of souls and some other items, a soul vessel, another bonfire aesthetic. Oh yeah, I didn't talk about the shield that I'm using. It is, well, I don't remember the name of it, but it gives me better stamina regen. So that stacks with my Chloranthy ring, if I am wearing it at all, which I don't remember. But yeah, stamina regen can be very useful for a character that uses a lot of stamina. For any character really, I suppose. Managing your stamina is like extremely important when using a heavy weapon. You just need to know when to go in for the consecutive attacks and when to back off and play it a bit more safe, conserve stamina. So in the beginning of this fight right here, from the looks of it, I was, I have a huge advantage, but then he gets me in a stun lock. And from the looks of it, this guy's using his bare fists. However, he could be using some kind of fist weapon. It's difficult to tell. I'll assume that he's using his bare fists, though. And, I have a moderate amount of poise, so I certainly wouldn't expect to be able to get stun locked. By someone with bare fists. But yeah, it happened. It's a bit surprising. The reason that I like Dark Souls and Dark Souls 2 is because just about everything in the game feels really balanced. So, and because of that, I know it gives you like a lot of variety to use one thing or the other. And that's just something that I love about the game. I believe they call it like vertical and horizontal upgrades or something like that. But in sandbox games like Minecraft and Terraria, you have your vertical tiers, I think that's what it's called. But yeah, you have vertical tiers. So for example, you start off with wooden tools, then you find ore, you upgrade those to iron tools, you upgrade those to steel tools eventually, and so on and so on. But in Dark Souls, I believe it's more of a game where there's primarily horizontal tiers or horizontal scaling. Not sure how to describe that or what the correct word for that is, but yeah, feels like just about everything in the game is viable if you do put enough upgrades into it and enough stats to support the equipment. It becomes more viable. I suppose that's where the vertical tier comes in. A +5 King's Ultra Greatsword is much more powerful than King's Ultra Greatsword that is unupgraded. And here, this guy, I sort of had the same problem that I had with the guy using his bare fists. He had a really quick weapon and he was able to break my poise and stagger my character somehow. Alright, so in this area I was actually putting my white soap sign down, seeing if I could help anyone out with the boss nearby, when suddenly this guy invades me. So I'd killed several NPCs, and I had killed people through the red cracked eye orb, and you know, for each kill of those two, of an NPC or person that you invade, I heard that adds like 1 to your sin level, and once your sin level gets above, or gets to 10 or higher, these blue phantom guys start invading you. So this guy, he got extremely low, but he manages to get away. And I believe he has some kind of heal miracle. Yep. Someone was saying that the heal miracle with a really quick casting speed may be overpowered, and I might just agree with that, because I saw someone use it like right in front of me, someone really close to me in front of me in PvP. I wasn't able to stop them or even punish them for using that heal miracle. So we'll see if From Software will do anything to balance that out. I believe they actually have patch notes. I just saw something on Reddit. It's like something about patch 1.03. Didn't read it, but I think there's going to be some information about the patch notes. And that is it. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.